Go ahead, Casey.
Good morning, Kevin. I've heard you talk before just how rare it is for a guy to stay in a program for 4 years. And I'm wondering if you could just speak to Jericho Helms and just what his commitment to the program has meant, but also why that makes tomorrow important, not only for the guys to play well, but for fans to want to come out and support a guy like that as well.
Yeah, that's a Casey, that's a very important point I've always made, and especially in today's time when there are transfers, and even nowadays when you can transfer without sitting out. A guy like Jericho, man, has meant so much to our program because, he came here when I first took the job, and obviously we were taking over a program that had just won 9 games in 2 years in the conference. And he decided to come here, and every year that he's been here, he's gotten better in a lot of areas. His scoring has improved. It's defensively. We were joking with him the other day about how bad he was defensively, and people used to just take him one-on-one as a freshman. And so, Jericho is about what NC State's about. We punch the clock. He's made himself into a really good player. He's been a hard-working guy since he's been here, and I'm excited for him that he has the opportunity to go through senior night. There was a point, if you look back to last year, there were no fans, and senior night was completely different. And it wasn't senior night. It was more, hey, we brought our team out and guys got their, jersey, and there were no fans. And so hopefully tomorrow means a lot to a lot of people, and they're there to congratulate or just appreciate what a young man has done when they stay 4 years in a Power 5 program, because it typically doesn't happen. You either transfer, you're a pro, which you're a first-round guy, or you leave early thinking that you're a pro. And in this kid's situation, he's been here from the beginning all the way to the end. So proud of him, and hopefully he feels the love tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Casey.
Go ahead, Gibby.
Yeah, Kevin, slow starts have been a problem for you guys lately. How important is it to get off to a fast start, maybe get the fans juiced up and get things rolling on Saturday for you guys?
Todd, very important. You're right. And I think back to our game before at Georgia Tech, and we got off to a hot start. But we have gotten off to slow starts, and we've always had to fight our way back into games, and we've always done that. Man, as a coach, I would love us to get into a quick start and have someone have to chase us one time instead of we being the guy who's chasing all the time. So it's important. It's important just to, for our guys to come out of the locker room and obviously be ready to play and be able to make some shots. I always think we're ready to play, but somehow we don't make shots early in the game, and we haven't, in a few games. It's really put us in a hole.
Go ahead, Alec.
Yeah, Kevin, I wanted to ask about the other senior, Thomas Allen. Just first, did you have an update on his status? But then on that, regardless of whether he's able to play or not, just what he's kind of meant to this program over the last couple of years.
Yeah, unfortunate. He's got a partial tear in his, plantar fascia. And, man, it's heartbreaking to me. I'm not going to rule him out for the rest of the season, but it will be a challenge. There's, it's a good chance that he may not play again this year. And that breaks my heart because, I want this young man to be able to go through senior night. I wanted him to have a chance to play on senior night. He's a guy, as we talked about, who originally signed here, from Raleigh, from the Raleigh area, and, left but came back when I took the job. And, Thomas has, been around for a long time. He's, a kid who's worked hard. People know him around here, and he will be recognized tomorrow. Which he deserves to be. But it breaks my heart that there's a chance that he may have played his last game here.
Go ahead, Jonas.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Jonas.
I know you guys don't like to put too much emphasis on one game over another, but we talked about it here today. That it is senior day, and it's the last home game. It's a rivalry game. With a pregame speech or with the conversations leading up to tomorrow be a little bit different this time around before tip-off?
I'm always trying to be inspirational, Jonas, in my pregame speech. So I want you to know it'll be exciting. It is senior night. and senior day, I should say. And I want those guys to be able to play for Thomas Allen and those guys to play for Jericho. As you know, when DJ Funderburg left and Devin Daniels obviously didn't get a chance to play, and CJ Bryce, and you go back to Markel Johnson and all those guys. So it's always a special night, and you want to reward the seniors as best as you can. You want to play extremely hard as you can. It is our last home game. We're playing against Carolina. So there's a lot of opportunities for our guys to be ready to play the game and excited about playing.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Kevin, you guys were, as we've discussed this year, dealt a really difficult hand on opening night, 30 seconds into opening night, especially with the way this team was structured, that there's only, that was built to be successful defensively a certain way. I'm curious, kind of, what do you think this group, as you've had to reshuffle and rethink a little bit, what do you think they are doing well or has worked the best in that sort of reconfiguration of what you think you need to do?
Well, Aaron, you talk about going into a fight with a game plan and then you get hit in the mouth, 50 some seconds into it. I really felt like that coming into this year that we possibly, and I say possibly because you got to play it out on the floor, that we could have had a top 25 team when you look at Manny Bates and the thought of Greg Gant being able to play, young Ernest Ross, Thomas Allen as a senior, Jericho as a senior, and then the year that Taquavion has had and Darion Sebron has had has been incredible. To these guys' credit, they've completely fought the entire year. Every game we go into, Aaron, and this is not the greatest feeling to ever have, is we're a little undermanned. And especially when you look in the front court and in the painted area. That being said, we've been very competitive. We fought, it's weird, but, 4 of our conference games have been road wins. And we've been able to go on the road and beat some really good teams. And then we got the great win here against UVA. But these guys have completely fought through some adversity. You find out about a lot of people. And I think we found out that Taquavion Smith is a really good player. And may not have had that opportunity to be the player that we thought or that we're seeing if everybody was healthy. And then Darion Sebron has had an outstanding breakout year. And so when you look at those two guys, I think they've benefited from it. A lot of times through some adversity, you get a chance to see some guys grow and get better because of adversity. And I would say the two guys who have benefited mostly because of that is those two. And then we've got some valuable experience from EB and Jalen. Both of those guys were not supposed to play this year. They were supposed to be, one of them was going to back him up and back Manny up for about 7 to 8 minutes, or depending how many minutes, and then get better because of that, and then be ready to play next year in a different role. But because of his situation, they both got outstanding opportunities.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Aaron.
Go ahead, Gibby.
Yeah, Kevin, how far can emotion carry a team? Can it will a team to victory sometimes? And obviously hoping something like that might happen tomorrow.
Well, I won't go into the game hoping that emotion will carry us. We have to make shots. We got to be able to play well. Emotions is good. Emotion can work both ways. It can be, good for you. It can be bad for you. But in order to win, we have to play well. And 3 of our guys who have been carrying us have to have good nights. They don't have to have, career nights, but they have to play well. And then the support cast has to be better. We're going to roll into tomorrow with 8 scholarship guys. And that's a rarity for me. And so, you're talking about how we like to play compared to the numbers that we have. It's going to be a little bit challenging, but emotion is good at the beginning of the game, but it typically runs out about a minute into the game.
Go ahead, Jonas.
Yeah, Coach, I'm just curious. You mentioned Manny. I saw him the other night. He was on the court, just kind of shooting around with his left hand, just playing around. But where is he?
You're telling on him, Jonas, because I've been trying to get him to get off that court. So I'm glad you told me so I can get on him about that.
Oh man, you didn't hear from me, okay?
I did. That's going to be all on the internet now. Everybody knows that.
Well, it was cameras out there too, so he should have known better. But I'm just curious, like, how far along? Where is he with his recovery process?
I think he's a little bit ahead of schedule. When I say that, I'm not a doctor, I'm not the trainer, but he's now being able to do some little bit of light lifting. And he has not been able to shoot. Now, I tease you, he can shoot with his left hand and just do a couple of scoop shots. And I've kind of let him take a couple shots outside just with his left hand so he can, keep his sanity a little bit. But he's better. His mobility is back. I don't know if he's got a, range of motion that's always there in his right shoulder, but he is he's able to get with our strength coach as we take him through a couple light lifts, but nothing major right now.
Can you steal a couple of minutes from him just to block shots with his left hand? Last couple of games?
Yeah, Jonas, if I could, I would. And if it's crazy, guys, if it was up to Manny, he would try to fool me and tell me he was 100% and could play in the game. But unfortunately, then I wouldn't put him at risk with that.
Anything else? All right, looks like we're good. Thanks.